Hello everyone, today I bring you round 8 of Leicester Chess Open 2023. And yeah, this round I finally got paired up against a lower rated opponent. Uh, I'm playing George Morgado in this game, and I have the black pieces. My opponent had the white pieces. I didn't really prepare to for this game, to be honest. I saw that my opponent was older gentleman. I was cocky. I was like, okay, I'm doing really well against all these masters, so I mean, this is gonna be super easy against these 1400 older guys. I was super cocky. Let's see how it went. So my opponent started with c4, and already like c4. I don't like facing c4, dude. Um, I can transpose to a lot of systems with e6, which is what I did here after knight c3 d5. But I don't know, like they can start. Back then, I didn't like playing against c4 because me being a Queen's Gambit declined player, you don't always get to transpose to those lines. But uh, fortunately, I developed more openings against like d4, like the Tarrasch defense, for example, which I like a lot. You'll see games of me playing the Tarrasch in the future in this channel. So yeah, and you can easily transpose into some variation of the Tarrasch where black is completely fun and has actually a pretty fun and active game. So yeah, okay, enough of that opening stuff. Here after d5, my opponent went d3. And this is what I'm talking about. This is already uncomfortable a little bit because this is not really a Queen's Gambit decline. This is like weird, okay? But yeah. Here, honestly, if it was today, if I was playing in 2024, right this day, I would play just c5. Just try to transpose into some sort of Tarrasch where I feel very comfortable with. But back then, I didn't really know the Tarrasch defense at all. So I just played knight f6. My opponent played d4, and here I played a6. A6 is kind of a weird move, but I was playing in these summer tournaments. I was playing the Janowski variation of the Queen's Gambit declined, which is like d4, d5, c4, e6, and after knight c3, a6. So I was trying to transpose into some sort of lines, weird lines. But yeah, this is already a little bit uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie, for me. Knight f3, bishop e7, a3, and this a3 move, I mean, my opponent wants to play b4, I guess. And so I took on c4 here. My opponent took with the bishop, and here I played b5, which, okay, it's not a bad move, but I mean, the move that it's screaming to be played is really c5, because if I allow my opponent to play b4, c5 is gonna be terribly difficult to play, and you really want to play c5 in order to challenge the center pawn on the d file and also develop the knight to c6 or maybe to d7, but you will always have an open file for your rook, and you don't want to have this pawn you know on c7 for the rest of the game. You want to open stuff up for your pieces. But back then I didn't have this type of understanding of the game, so I just played b5, bishop d3, bishop b7, and this is not good. And it is, the computer points out that this is an inaccuracy because of b4. My opponent first played castle, and here he actually also made a mistake. He should have played b4 immediately, because now he allows me to play c5. This is the last chance I have to play c5 pretty much, and I am completely clueless about that, and I just play knight bd7. And now my opponent finds the best move, b4, just simple. And here, I just underestimated this during the game. I thought that it wasn't a big deal, but it is a big deal. And you can see that this pawn on c7 is just a weakness. And yeah, my opponent has full control over the c5 square. But yeah, I just have to point this out to you guys because this is very important details. Okay, I go castle. And after bishop b2, I realized that my position was trash. And it is trash. Okay, the computer says it's equal 0.15 to white, but from a human perspective, my position sucks because I don't have counterplay here. If I had played c5 earlier and I I had traded here on d4. I could have played rook c8, start putting pressure along the c file, play knight b6, knight c4, all of that stuff. I would have a lot of play with the open c file, but now this is only a semi-open file and it is for my opponent. So yeah, here I thought for a long while, before I was just pre-moving everything pretty much on the over the board pre-moving. And here, I just came to the conclusion that my position sucked and I had to make something fast. I had to make counterplay fast. And I actually found the best move according to the engine, which was a5. And this is, if you have to play a5 to stay equal and it is the best move, it's already a bad sign because this, of course, leaves the b5 pawn hanging. This is a pawn sacrifice, but it is a must because if you don't do this pawn sacrifice, you'll be so passive that your opponent can do whatever he wants. So yeah, I play a5, just playing the pawn sacrifice line. My opponent takes on a5, I take with the rook, and now he takes with the knight. Yeah, I mean, according to the computer, this is equal because I have now I have counterplay, but I mean, it's of course easier to play when you have an extra pawn, to say the least, But okay, I played c5 here now. c5, not the best move. Should have played c6, but I said, okay, I mean, let's try to ignore the fact that I'm up a pawn. Let's just open stuff up and maybe I can trick him with some tactic and win back the pawn or win a piece. I was still kind of confident because I was like, okay, man, like I'm down a pawn, but like he's a 1400. Like, how bad can it be, right? Uh, this is not a good mentality to have. I mean, it depends on the person, honest. Um, Here my pawn defends the knight with a4. I take on d4. He takes with the bishop, and here I play queen b8. And yeah, I'm just trying to do something, to make something happen. After queen b8, my opponent played bishop c3, attacking my rook. Here I played rook a8, queen e2 here by my opponent, and now I played knight d5, putting pressure on the bishop on c3. And here, according to the computer, the best move is bishop d4, avoiding the loss of the bishop pair. But my opponent played rook fb1, which is not a good move. It's a mistake because it allows me to trade on c3, which I didn't. I actually played rook c8, and the reason is, I mean, I wanted to keep pieces on the board to complicate the position as much as possible. But yeah, here I should really just grab the bishop pair. My opponent saved the bishop with bishop d2, which is a great move by my opponent. Very well done. I play knight c5. I was just trying to throw pieces at him, just trying to be active and trying to disturb his piece play. My opponent played e4, which is a mistake, which allows me to have even like, okay, it allows me to equalize. I wouldn't say it is a slight advantage, just equal after bishop f4, forcing my opponent to give up the bishop pair, which now I was kind of forced to take. But yeah, here I'm not doing that bad because, okay, I ended up getting the bishop pair all in all. My opponent played g3. This was his idea. And here I dropped back to b8. Okay, I think makes sense to, keep the queen around my pieces. Yeah, bishop c2 here by my opponent. Saving the bishop from the attack of the knight. I play bishop a6, putting pressure on the knight here. And yeah, I might have some tricks. My opponent played e5 though, which it is a good move because it opens the diagonal here for the bishop. I played bishop d8, which I don't really understand. I don't really understand bishop d8 here. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I should probably play something like bishop f8 might have been a better move. Oh no, this loses on the spot. What am I talking about? You see, this loses on the spot. Bishop takes h7. Okay, yeah, I couldn't do this. Bishop takes on h7. Do your tactics. Don't be like me and lose the game on the spot like this. I didn't play this in the game, but yeah, you have to play g6 first. Okay. Yeah, you really have to block this diagonal as soon as possible. Okay, I should have played g6. Okay. As you can see, I'm still not tactically aware. I have a lot to work on for sure in 2024. But okay, I played bishop d8 here. Um, yeah, I don't remember the idea of bishop d8. Maybe I was trying to reroute to this diagonal here, possibly, but looks very slow. My opponent played knight d4. I guess, activating this knight and also protecting this knight. So yeah, I played queen b7. Queen b7 is also questionable. Like, what is queen b7? Because like now I'm allowing tricks like knight d6 perhaps, which it's not good. Although here it probably doesn't quite work. Yeah, here it probably doesn't work because if you went knight d6 here, I would take on b1, bishop takes, knight takes, and then I would move the rook somewhere. Okay, a little calculation, but okay. My opponent played queen g4, and here I played queen e7, trying to bring the queen back to the defense of my king, which I felt it made sense. My opponent played knight d6, very natural, putting the knight on an excellent square on d6. And here I played rook c7, defending the rook from the attack of the knight, and also defending the f7 square better. Here my opponent played rook b2, which I didn't really understand. I thought that, okay, maybe he's trying to double on the b file. So I played knight d7 to try to prevent this infiltration here. But this loses on the spot. And yeah, this loses on the spot. There's a move here that wins pretty much the game for white. There's probably two moves, but one is stronger than the other. Try to pause and find the move that wins for white in this position. My opponent found the move. The move is very simple. Queen e4. And after queen e4, I resigned the game. There's absolutely nothing I can do. And it's sad. I guess there's still something I can do, but I just didn't want to keep playing after blundering this and being completely lost. Of course, my opponent is threatening check here on h7. Checkmate pretty much into, because, let's say I do rook b, not rook b8, but yeah, rook b8, okay, to defend the rook, because this is a double attack. It's threatening queen takes on h7 and the rook on a8, which is unprotected. So yeah, if I did something like rook b8, you would have checkmate in 2 like this. So yeah, I mean, I'm here. The best move is to take on c2, but after rook takes on c2, I'm done a pawn. I'm done in exchange, and my pieces absolutely suck. Yeah, and yeah, this is just miserable. Like, what can I even do here? It's just, there's nothing to do. Like, this is just depressing. But yeah, I resigned the game. I was very, very angry. I was very, very tilted. I was so pissed off at myself for playing such a bad game. Such a bad game. But I was very cocky going into the game. I had what I deserved, honestly. I thought it was gonna be a piece of cake, and it was a piece of cake, but it was for my opponent, not for me. And yeah, I ended up not playing round 9. I was so tilted that I just dropped out of the tournament and I didn't play the last round, which is definitely not the best behavior, but I have to be honest, it wasn't the last time that something like that happened. So yeah, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tournament. It was definitely better than the last one. You know, excluding this game, if you don't count this game, it was actually a pretty decent tournament. But with this game, I ended up dropping points still, and yeah, I was not satisfied at all with these two summer tournaments. Famalicão Open and Leicester Chess Open were really not that great for me, but I did bounce back in my HS Open, which we will start covering on the next episode. And I hope you guys are enjoying the journey, and I plan on keeping the consistent uploading of videos. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.